Hello, first grade. Um, you can see we're using all of our more grown-up kind of writing paper now. So we're done with the ones that had the boxes and that told us where to start our letters, because I think most of you know now where to start your letters. So today, the one thing we're going to do is learn what a consonant is and what a vowel is. And I'm going to just put up the videos I did for second grade because I think you're grown up enough to understand those videos instead of making the same videos over again. So don't worry if I say good morning, second grade. I know that you're first grade. All right, so we're going to do vowels and consonants and group all of our first 26 phonograms into either vowels or consonants. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and review some of those first 26 phonograms, some of the ones we learned a little bit more recently, and make sure we're starting them in the correct spot and writing them the correct way. All right, so the first phonogram that we're going to write is B. B. So where's the starting spot for B? Good, at the top baseline. So write it and say it while you write it. All right, when you're finished, put your pencil down. And now tell me what to write, because I'm going to write what you just wrote so you can check it. Good, B. All right, that's a tall line letter, so I start at the top baseline. I go down and then up to just below the baseline and around. B. All right. Oh, something else that's exciting is by now we should know how to make all the letters correctly, so we don't need to talk through them as we make them anymore. So I'm pretty excited about that. Now we just say the sound while we write it. All right. So the next phonogram is E. What are you going to write? Excellent. And where is your starting spot? Excellent. Halfway between the dotted line and the baseline. So write your E and say the sounds while you write it. All right, class, this is our E. It starts halfway between the dotted line and the baseline, and it's a dash stroke. So we make the dash stroke, and then we go around to 4. E. All right, next is W. W. All right, so find your starting spot and say the sound as you write it. All right, our W is what kind of letter? Very good. It's a slant stroke letter. So we start at the dotted line and we do a slant down and up and then down and up. W. All right. Next is U, U, U. What are you going to write? Very good. U, U, U. All right, say it while you write it. And remember, if you don't know, just draw a line below the baseline, and then when I write it, pause the video and you can correct it. All right, class, this is our U, U, U. Remember that fourth sound is like, oh, you got hit in the stomach with a ball. U, U, U. Almost hurts just thinking about it. All right, the next phonogram is Z. Now that starts at the dotted line and it starts close to the margin or the last letter. All right, so find your starting spot, write your Z and say it while you write it. All right, class, this is our Z, starting close to the last letter, and we start with the dash stroke. All right, Z. All right, next is K. Where does K start? It starts at the top baseline. It's a tall line letter. Say it while you write it. All right, so our K, remember, not K, S, but the one that just says K is a tall line letter. And then the second part of the tall line letter, we start over here on the dotted line. I don't know why, but we like to start in the middle here or way up at the top, and that's not right unless we're writing the first letter of someone's name. So this is our K. All right, the next one is V. What are you going to write? Good. V. All right, so find the starting spot and say the sound while you write it. All right, our V is a slant line letter. So we start at the dotted line with a slant stroke and then slant back up. V. All right, the next one is Kwa. All right, now how many letters do I need to say Kwa? Good, I need 2 letters. So am I going to put my Kwa right next to my V? Good, I am not going to put it right next to my V. I always leave a clock space before and after any phonogram that's 2 or more letters. And this is our very first 2-letter one. So leave a clock space and then find your starting spot for Kwa. Where's the starting spot for Kwa? Good. Over a space just below the dotted line, touch 2 on the clock. And say the sound while you write it. All right, so I'm going to leave a clock space, then I'm going to go over a space just below the dotted line, touch 2 on the clock to go around. And what else do I need to do to show I need both those letters to say Kwa? Good, I'm going to underline it. All right, I'm also going to leave a clock space after it. Remember, a 2 or more letter phonogram gets a clock space before and after. All right. The next one is X. Find your starting spot and say the sound while you write it. All right, so X is a slant stroke letter, so I'm going to leave my clock space. Then it's a slant stroke down to the baseline, and then clock space away from where we started and back down. X. Gosh, I don't know why I'm still talking through the letters, because we don't need to do that anymore. We just say the sound now. All right, the last one that I want us to write is ya, it, I, e. What are you going to write? Good, ya, it, I, e. So find the starting spot and say the sounds while you write it. All right, so where does our ya, it, I, e start? Very good. At the dotted line. Yeah. I-E. All right. Nice job, class. The next couple sessions, we're going to practice some spelling, but we're going to do it in a more grown-up way than we've been doing it before.